Hi, welcome back to Patrick's Investments, and there is one video that is very important because it's not something about investing for you or me or my wife, but for our kids or grandkids, if you want to say. Because when our daughter was born, my wife and I decided that we wanted to make her life a little bit easier when it comes to growing up and basically stepping into adulthood once it's going to be time, because our daughter is 7 years old now. And when she was born, it was a little bit of a rough time because she was premature. She came 3 months early and she was literally as big as my palm, 520 grams, and she had to fight for her life for pretty much the first year she was on this planet. And it was actually a decision before she was born that we wanted to basically give her an easier step into adulthood. And how can you do that? Is obviously be there for her, support her, but let's be realistic, money is part of it as well. Not by giving her presents until she doesn't know what to do anymore with herself, but by putting money aside for her to be able to maybe do half a year exchange program, go somewhere abroad and see the world maybe before she starts working or studying or whatever she decides to do then later. And I said to my wife, let's use some of the money that we get as government support, let's say, which you get in Germany, it's Kindergeld, or you get in Switzerland, it's Kinderzulage. So basically, you get a little bit of money from the government to support being a parent. And that is around 200 francs, 210, 220 francs. Depends on where you live, in which canton. Okay, we have to do it this way because the sun is behind me. And we were putting money aside until she was around 1 year old. And she got out of the hospital basically, and she managed to get through all this hardship. And then we basically invested 200 euro, because I did it in Germany, because there was no account here in Switzerland which you could use for investing for kids. I know in the UK you guys can have a kids ISA, in Germany you can have a junior depot with some of the brokers. In Switzerland there is no such thing, unfortunately, and I hope they will do it. But either way, by the time it's gonna happen, our little one will be old enough already to take care of her money herself. But I did that basically. However, I put it under my name because I decided with my wife together that we want to be the ones who give her the money, not by default when she turns 18. Because let's face it, when I was 18, I was an idiot. Yeah, I would have spent all the money that I got for a car. And years of saving, investing, and accumulating the money would have been gone for a stupid car, and maybe I would have crashed it, and maybe I would have died because I would have had too much power. So we want to be the ones who decide when she will get it, as well as looking into what kind of friends she will have. Are they influencing her positively or hopefully not negatively? And we don't know if that's going to be with 18, 19, 21 or whatever, but that's why we put it under my name. Tax beneficially, it's not good because we pay taxes because it's under my name. However, looking into being able to decide, okay, you get that money or maybe part of the money, or you don't get it at 18, that's what we want to decide. So the first 2 years or so, or 3 years, we put in around 200 euro, and then we reduce it to 100 euro. And now we basically do that consistently for over 6 years of putting money inside her portfolio. And we don't have individual stocks, we have ETFs or exchange traded funds. And we have like an MSCI World. Let me just pull it out and tell you what she has. Yeah, MSCI World, MSCI Switzerland, though that one was, I kind of got one automatic investment for 1 month and then I stopped it because I didn't want to put it in this. Then we have the iShares Nasdaq 100 ETF. We have the iShares S&P 500 ETF, information technology, so IT. And we have the FTSE All World High Dividend Yield, though this one we don't put money in anymore. So basically we just put money in the MSCI World, Nasdaq 100 and the S&P 500 ETF. And we've accumulated since that time total of 22,777 euro and 73 cents as of today, which is beginning of March 2026. And from that sum to 22,700 and a bit, we have around 8,000 euro in gains, which equals 53.61%. In addition, we have a savings account under her name, where she gets 25 francs every month saved to have basically for a driver's license or something small when she will turn 18. That will be going to her. Furthermore, I'm planning to, once she will get a little bit older and she will understand obviously math and interest, and she will have her own interests, that will open then a portfolio under her name, and we'll give her like 25 euro, or she will earn 25 euro, 50 euro, francs, whatever, per month, where she will be able to decide where that money is supposed to go to, obviously with advice from my side, and basically educate her and have financial education, which is one thing that is missing in today's world, because most kids don't learn anything. Or actually, no one learns anything in school about investing and putting your money into something that grows, rather than a stupid account which has 0.1% interest or 0.2% interest. And that is my mission. So I want to give our daughter the opportunity to have a better life, have the chance of not right away after school having to start an apprenticeship, university, or start a job. Maybe something she doesn't really want to do because she maybe doesn't know what she wants to do, and maybe she wants to try something out, and if it's not what she wants, she can still say, hey, you know what, I have a backup from my parents, because they were smart enough to actually put money aside, and give her the opportunity to actually find the right thing for her to do. So that's what we did, or that's what we're doing since over 6 years now already. And what I want to show you as well is a calculation I pulled out. So if we take that amount, which is a 22,750, I rounded down, and continue with 100 euro every month until she is 21, not 18, 21, so for another 14 years or so, and an average interest or growth of 7% per annum, we're gonna end up with around 86,750 euro, which is how much in gains? 47,200, more or less. Yeah. So the gains will be more than what we paid in, because what we will have paid in over time is 39,550. So the gains will exceed what we actually put in. And that's with 7% calculated. Because if we look at it, we have now 53% plus through 6 years. So let's just take this one, break it down. Obviously you can't do that really, but for the sake of it, 53.61 divided by 6 years, we had 8.93%. I don't know if you can see it. So roughly 9% rather than 7%. So I think you should do that for your kids as well. Because sometimes I read online where there are people saying, I didn't have anything, why should I give my kids anything? Which is horrible. So why do you have kids in the first place? If you just raise them, hopefully you do, and then you kick them out with 18 and tell them, good luck, that's your life, I don't care anymore, you're old enough, screw you, basically, because this is what I see a lot. Actually, I see that a lot, which is horrible. We love our daughter, we want the best for her, and we want her to succeed in life. I've seen that they're big fish. I don't know if you can, yeah, you should see them. They're there. Look at that, they're huge. Okay, so yes, that's why we invest for our daughter. And one thing is important as well. I know that many people struggle nowadays because they can't, I'm not quite sure how you say it in English, meet ends meet, I think you say. And it's difficult for them to actually put something aside, let alone for their kids. But in my opinion, it's not about the amount, because obviously we reduced as well from 200 to 100, and I hope I can increase it at one point again. But at the same time, we need to look after ourselves as well, which I understand is a valid point. And therefore, I know it's difficult, but please try. It's supposed to be a habit that you get into, and you start saving ideally from day one when your child is born, or the first month, and put in 10, 15, 20, 25, 50, whatever you can spare for your kid to make their life easier. And we know it's not about giving them luxuries and cars and watches and I don't know what. Experiences is important, not just money and presents, which is a very, very important part as well. But build a habit and teach them, because my parents couldn't teach me because they didn't know better. I was always saving money until I turned 18 and spent all my money on cars, which was stupid, and nowadays I probably wouldn't have to work if I didn't do that and put that money into stocks and investments. And there will be another video, I'll tell you, and I'll spoiler it now a bit, because in my opinion, I will try to teach our daughter to spend only 50% of whatever she will earn. From the moment she will make her first money, if it's cleaning the apartment, doing some part-time job or whatever, I'll teach her to live with 50%. And if she continues doing that, she'll have a savings rate of 50%, which will make her financially free before she turns 30 or maybe 25 even, with the start of those 80, 86, 90, maybe 100,000 euros she will get. So please, my advice to you, if you can and you have set up yourself and you invest, let's say 100 euro, do 10% of that and invest for your child, for each child, not for all of them together. If you have 3, 4, 5, I don't know. It will make it easier for you later on, and you'll have something to show and to teach them. And most important, teach your kids how to invest. Teach your kids how not to spend all their money, go into buy now, pay later stuff, and be smart, be financially educated. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like. Thank you very much for everyone who subscribed. We are at 500 subscribers, which is one of the milestones we need. Now we have to get the watch hours up to 3,000. We have around 1,100 watch hours. And then we'll be able to monetize this channel. And that money I'll use as well to obviously invest and put some money in for us and for our daughter as well. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. See you next time. Bye.